Alright, following the video that I released on the urinary system and kidney, we're going to be seeing some 10 questions that you're likely to be asked in your UTME. And the first one is, what is the functional unit of the kidney? I did tell you in that video that the functional unit of the kidney is the nephron. And on this nephron is what you have, where you have the glomerulus. Is that okay? Then this being the Bowman capsule. Then loop of Henle extends from the convoluted tubule, the loop of Henle. And then the collecting duct is where it ends, because the collecting duct lead to the papilla, and the papilla to the calyx. So the answer is nephron. So this whole thing is called the nephron. You understand? Is the functional unit of the kidney. What's the function of the kidney? For excretory purposes. So that excretory purposes is solely to excrete urine, you understand? So, and urea is a major nitrogenous product, nitrogenous waste that is excreted. Is that okay? So that is what, so the part of the kidney that majorly does that work is the nephron. That's why it's called the functional unit. The next one says the part of the nephron responsible for filtration is what? So where does filtration take place? So you're going to notice a network of like wire here. So this is called the glomerulus, and that is where the filtration takes place, the glomerulus. Now what place takes place in the loop of Henle? The loop of Henle is just a continuum, the continuum of this tubule. So, and what happens in all of this tubule is selective reabsorption and secretion. So in the proximal tubule and the loop of Henle, that's what happens there. Reabsorption. All right. The next one is, so the answer to this is the glomerulus. That is where filtration takes place. We call it ultrafiltration. The major nitrogenous waste excreted by the kidney is what? So nitrogenous waste means the waste that contains nitrogen. Yeah. So now you know ammonia contains nitrogen. Ammonia. But it's not the major nitrogenous waste that is excreted by the kidney. So it would be wrong to even pick carbon dioxide, because of course it doesn't contain nitrogen. CO2 doesn't contain nitrogen. Glucose, C6H12O6, this is the molecular formula. It doesn't contain nitrogen either, right? So these ones are out of it. And of course, I've said ammonia is not a major excretory product. So the answer will be what? Urea. Urea has the general formula, CO. And from the chemistry, you know, we have two different alkyl groups, and then attached to a nitrogen. So we call it the N-substituted nitrogen. And R2, R3, so it is R1, R2, R2, R3, R3, R4, and nitrogen. So this is the basic formula, and you might have seen CON2, CON2H2 or something like that. So that's basically the function. The major thing I'm showing is that nitrogen is one of the products. So they are a group of nitrogenous compounds. So that is not a constant formula for one, it's just a general formula. All right, so the answer is urea, basically. The next one, which of the following best describes the role of ADH in kidney? Now, what's the role of ADH in kidney? ADH is called antidiuretic hormone. Antidiuretic hormone. So let's break that down. Anti. What does anti mean? Anti means it has antagonistic functionality. Antagonistic functionality means against, a functionality against. So if the name is antidiuretic hormone, so what is uresis? Uresis means urination. The process of urination is called uresis. So antidiuretic means against the process of urination. So what it does is basically it increases absorption of water so that your urine is concentrated with less water being lost from the body. You understand? Is making sure that it's only waste that go, that water is as much as possible conserved. You understand? And that's one of the functions of the loop of Henle too. So, so the answer will be it increases urine output, no, reduces water, no, increases water reabsorption. So it will be increases water reabsorption, right? Then, okay, inhibition of ultrafiltration, that's also wrong. Number 5 says the loop of Henle is mainly responsible for what? What is the loop of Henle responsible for? I've said is for because it's part of the tubule, it's one of the major part of the tubule. So, and in the tubule, what happens is there are two things that happen: secretion and reabsorption. So, you see, we could have picked glucose reabsorption, but that's not where glucose reabsorption takes place. This is the loop of Henle here. Glucose reabsorption takes place in the proximal convoluted tubule, the first section of the tubule. That's where, because glucose is one of the first things that will first be reabsorbed, body sugar. Do you understand? That's why when you go to the doctor and your urine is tested, if sugar is present, glucose is present, you know glucose is simple sugar, then it is a sign of diabetes, right? Diabetes mellitus. All right, so um, glucose reabsorption does not take place in the loop of Henle. But blood filtration, of course, not. That one takes place in the glomerulus. So the answer is going to be there's no protein digestion taking place anyway. The answer is going to be water conservation because we said that's one of the things it aids water reabsorption also happens in the loop of Henle. So you are going to see a network of capillaries around it. So what they are basically doing is try to concentrate your urine. Concentrate your urine means that you are trying to remove salt. You understand? So when they remove salt, the water in the urine will follow. There's a common saying that where salt goes, water follows. And put that at the back of your mind so that when we begin to discuss osmoregulation and osmoregulatory activity of the cell and all of those things, diffusion, osmosis, you will understand that where ions go, water will also follow, especially where sodium, potassium, and all those things go, water always follows them. Do you understand? So here too, ions are being removed in the this thing, in the urine that is going into the tubule, that is going through the tubule. So as those ions are going, they are taking water with them. Do you understand? So because of that, water is being conserved in the body. Right? What is the primary function of the renal pelvis? Now, the renal pelvis is if these are kidney. If this was our kidney, the renal pelvis, we said this will be the. Now we call this part the apex of pyramid. In the video just now I said the pyramid is the part of the medulla that creates the urine, where the nephron creates the urine and it trickles into the papillary duct, and the papillary ducts empty into what we call calyces. Now calyces now extend into the pelvis. So pelvis is this central region here where you see it's like a funnel. It's like a funnel. So where all those urine collect. So then they now flow into the ureter. Did you get it? Alright, so that is so what's the major function? Urine formation, no, blood filtration, no, collection of exactly collection of urine. Now which of these is not normally found in urine? What do you normally find in urine? Of course you find urea. So if you find glucose, besides is a pointer to diabetes, right? So it's not normally found in your urine, glucose. Of course you find salt and water. Now what hormone increases sodium reabsorption in the kidney? What hormone increases sodium reabsorption in the body? Now, let's start just talking. Now, let's talk about the function of some of these hormones here that are written here. Insulin, let's start with insulin. And you see the word insulin is gotten from the word insula. It's gotten from the word what? Insula. Have you heard the word peninsula before? Something peninsula. So peninsula means, I think, surrounded by, there is an island, sort of. So that insula means island. The word insula means what? Island. So island. So how did we get an island inside our body? That's what I want to bring up. Now there is the functional parts, the small cells of the pancreas. Remember the pancreas? The part of the system that metabolizes sugar of the GIT. So it's like leaf like this. Do you understand? It's like leaf. Hmm? It's inside us. So it's just below the stomach. Now, that thing, these functional parts, the basic cells there, the small cells there, they are called islets of Langerhans. So islet means island, island. So and it's the same word from which insula is the word island is got from the word insula. Do you understand? Surrounded by water, land surrounded by water. Okay, so insulin is from the word insula. Is that okay? Now, what is the function of insula? There are two hormones that pancreas secretes. We have one is glucagon, glucagon, and the other is this insulin. Now, what glucagon does is this: it makes sugar available in the body. So, the form in which our cells store sugar is what? Glycogen, right? The other form. No, we have sugar in our body that is stored as glucose, but glycogen is um, the the glycogen is a larger carbohydrate. Hmm? So sugar, so it's not so simple sugar is not readily available inside glycogen. Do you understand? It has to be metabolized again in the process known as glycogenolysis. Do you understand? So glycogenolysis is where that glycogen will now be broken down to make the glucose available. Is that okay? Now, so glycogen makes glucose available in the cell. How does it do it? It will convert that glycogen in the process I just talked about. The glycogen in the cell is converted to glucose, which is simple sugar, where sugar is readily available. Do you understand? So the hormone that does that is glucagon. Then the hormone that reverses this process is called the insulin. So the insulin will now convert glucose back to glycogen if there is too much sugar in the blood. Do you understand? And that is why people have diabetes mellitus. When the sugar is too much in the blood, the kidney will not be able to absorb all the glucose out of the sugar. So because of that, sugar will be detected in the person's urine. Do you understand? So the answer to that, okay, so that is insulin. Now, aldosterone is the hormone of the body that controls sodium reabsorption. Do you understand? That is what it does. It controls sodium reabsorption. So as sodium is being reabsorbed, in essence, water will do what? Follow. You know, we said where salt goes, water follows. So aldosterone is the hormone that does that. The antidiuretic, okay, we have mentioned what antidiuretic hormone does. Then the glucagon, that's what I just said there. Glycogen to glucose. All right, the next one. So the answer to that, aldosterone. The next one, the presence of glucose in the urine is a symptom of what? Now let's define some of these. Nephritis. Anytime you hear the word teeth, or anytime something in biology ends with teeth, or titis, or something teeth, it means an inflammation, a swelling. Do you understand? So nephritis means the swelling of the nephron. Kidney stone, of course, stones in the kidney. Then not basically stone. Oh. Yes, and there are substances that are not. They just block the kidney. Yes, and they are not reabsorbed. They are not. They don't get to the bladder. They don't enter the bladder. So they just stay in either the ureter or they just block some parts of the distance. So um, and that's because they have large molecules. But the point is that they make now urine process. The process by which urination happens is peristaltic. Do you know peristalsis? Peristalsis is the process by which when you eat food, you know all you have to do is just swallow. When you swallow, you know the food doesn't get immediately. You only swallow to make it um, get off the boundary of this place into the throat. Do you understand? There is a place here around there called the pharynx. Do you understand? So once it enters into the pharynx and goes to the what's it called, the esophagus, right? So at the esophagus, you no longer have control over the distance. Sometimes you use water but you see the food by itself now goes. Now it's not really that it goes by itself. Oh. What the muscles of the esophagus have, they engage in series of contraction and expansion. So as they are contracting like that, the process is called peristalsis. So it's the process that pushes food down your throat. It's called what? Peristalsis. So the point is, so kidney stone, when the urine is going down, it makes, if there's kidney stone, it makes urination very difficult. Understand? And the pain can be excruciating, can even lead to death. Yes. So diabetes. So we say presence of glucose is what diabetes mellitus. So we have basically talked about this before, right? Then kidney, I don't think it has anything to do with hypertension, except sometimes because of the availability of sugar too in the body. There's something I read one time about how the fact that your heightened sugar level can also, but basically the point is when there's glucose in your urine, diabetes mellitus. Urine formation occurs in which of the following sequence? The sequence we have secretion, filtration, and reabsorption. So what's the sequence? There are three stages of urine formation, or three stages of by which nephron performs its function, which is urine formation, of course. The first one is ultrafiltration or filtration. The second one is reabsorption. We call this selective reabsorption. Then the third one is secretion, hormonal secretion. So the order will be, we said ultrafiltration, reabsorption, F before R, then secretion. So that we see. Do you understand? So that will be it for this video. Do also subscribe to the channel if you have not already and turn on the bell notification to get notified whenever I drop a new video. Thank you. So